Hello everyone, today we are going to see about analog circuit. It is a lecture number 2 related to characteristics of op-amp. Myself Miss Harunde SS. Now let us see about that. This is the introduction. In introductory part in previous lecture we already seen about that operational amplifier, but today I am going to repeat again this concept because this is related to characteristics of op-amp also. What is operational amplifier? An operational amplifier is a direct coupled high gain amplifier. It is a versatile multi-terminal device that can be used to amplify DC as well as AC input signal. That means DC is related to direct current and AC is related to alternating current. That means that operational amplifier can deal with AC signals as well as DC signal, but frequently we are using in every application related to AC signal only. For that purpose, in every derivation or every concept related to operational amplifier, we are always dealing with AC signals. Then next is, it is originally designed for performing mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication and integration, and its abbreviation as a op-amp. That means instead of calling that long term, that is a operational amplifier, frequently we are calling that op-amp as a op-amp. Operational amplifier is calling as a op-amp. This is used for the operational amplifier. Its name indicates that operational. That means it is used to perform operations. Then what kind of operations are involved in that amplifier? Operations related to mathematical only performed in that amplifier section, and some part of the conversion, that means current to voltage conversion, voltage to current conversion, analog to digital signal conversion, digital to analog conversion signal. These kinds of conversions are related to this operational amplifier. But division operation cannot be performed in this operational amplifier. This is the rare case. Rest of all the mathematical tools and functions which we are going to use commonly in everywhere, that operations will be performed here. This is the circuit symbol related to that operational amplifier. This is a op-amp, showing it at a inverting terminal input, non-inverting terminal input, and output we are going to observing. That is, a inverting terminal input is given to 2 number pin of that op-amp. Non-inverting input is given to positive terminal of a op-amp, and 6 number is related to output of that op-amp. This is just shortly introduction related to that circuit symbol related to operational amplifier. Detailed structure we have seen already in our lecture number 1. Then next is along with that operational amplifier, what that circuit schematic shows us. The circuit schematic of an op-amp is a triangular shape. It has 2 input terminal and 1 output terminal. Just so here, that is a op-amp has the 5 basic terminals. That is a 2 input terminal, 1 output terminal, 2 power supply terminal. The significance of the other terminal varies with the type of op-amp. Here the word other came into picture because we are always using frequently, that is a op-amp number IC741, and that IC is containing 8 pin IC. Rest of that 8, only 5 pins are frequently we are using. For that purpose here mentioned, that is a 2 pins is related to input purpose, 1 pin is related to output purpose, and 2 pins are related to giving power supply to that op-amp. And rest of all, that means 3 terminals are used depending upon the application of that op-amp. Then next, power supply connection. How we are connecting that power supply to that op-amp. Just see here that negative terminal, that is a minus VEE supply is connected to the negative terminal of the op-amp, and that negative terminal of the op-amp is also called as an inverting terminal of the op-amp. And just see here in this circuit diagram, for that positive terminal of the op-amp, in that grounding, that negative input is connected and positive terminal is connected towards commonly ground. That means opposite connections are done along with that power supply. That means non-inverting terminal deal with negative terminal power supply, and inverting terminal deal with positive supply of that battery, and commonly we are connecting that rest of the 2 terminal towards that ground, as usual in every kind of a circuit diagram. Just see in description related to this, that is a positive voltage and negative voltage power supply terminals are connected to 2 DC voltage sources. That is what kind of the 2 DC voltage sources? Here the two DC voltage sources is mentioned as a positive V and negative V sources. Just show it here. That is a positive V pins is connected to positive terminal of one source and a negative V is connected to negative terminal of the other source as shown in this figure. Just I have explained. The common terminal is connected to performance point or ground. That ground is called as a performance point or a ground. The source is a 15 volt battery and it ranges from plus 5 volt to plus 20 volt. That means battery sometime we are going to use in a variable range, and that variable range capacity, that is the variation range of that battery, is a plus 5 volt to plus 20 volt, 22 volt. That is a standard power supply range related to, or standard power supply value related to that battery is 15 volt. It is a standard, but in terms of range, while we are going to considering that range capacity is plus 5 volt to plus 22 volt. Then there are number of packages types are available related to op-amp in our market. Here I have given some packages type related to that op-amp. Just see, three popular packages are available here. One is a dual inline package. The abbreviation related to that dual inline package is sometimes we are calling as a DIP. Metal can package, it is called as a TO. Then flat package. These are the some three popular packages we are going to use. Op-amp packages may contain single, dual or quad op-amps. That means single means only one, dual means two, and quad means you know very well. Typically packages have 8, 10 or 14 terminals. That means ICs are available in a market related to op-amp that is having 8 pin, 10 pin, 14 pin. But earlier I have told that only 5 terminals are usually and frequently used in every ICs, and rest of the pins are used depending upon the type of application, type of manufacturing, and where we are going to connecting that op-amp. Depending upon that terminology, that pin numbers occupation is a dependent. Widely used very popular type is, IC is a op-amp 741 IC we are going to use very frequently, and that IC type is written as a MU-A741. That IC is having only 8 pin IC, is a single, and that type related to that IC is a single op-amp available in 8 pin, and DIP is having a 10 pin. That is DIP is nothing but one category I have told, that is a dual inline package called as a DIP. That IC is having 10 or flat pack. Manufacturer's designation for a linear ICs. Each manufacturers use a specific code and assigns a specific type number ICs. For example, 741 and initially compensated op-amp originally manufactured by a Fairchild is sold as a MU-A741, where MU-A represents the identified initials. Initials used by some well-known manufacturers are related to that IC. Here I have shown these are the some manufacturers, standard manufacturers, and this is identified initials related to that IC. First manufacturers is a National Semiconductor. They abbreviated our op-amp as a LM, LH, LF like this. Then second manufacturer, frequently we are using that IC, that is a Fairchild. They are using MU-A, MU-AF. Motorola is third manufacturing company for that op-amp. They abbreviated that op-amp as a MC. That last is a Texas Instrument. They abbreviated our op-amp as a SM. All these things are related to op-amp, in general op-amp, but there are some ideal characteristics related to op-amp. What are these? Just see. An ideal op-amp exhibits the following characteristics. What are these characteristics? Just see. Open loop voltage gain. Then open loop voltage gain. Gain we are always representing by the letter A. A letter representing the derivation in everywhere related to analog circuit related to only gain representation. That is the open loop gain. Here I have represented that A in suffix OL, O for open, L for low. Open loop gain for that ideal op-amp is infinity. Input impedance is infinity. Then output impedance characteristics is a 0. bandwidth is infinity, zero offset, that is the output voltage or offset voltage is a zero when both the input terminals having does not any kind of a input related to that op amp. That means V1 is equal to V2 is equal to 0. That means op amp does not having any kind of a input. Then at that point zero offset voltage is introduced. These are the some characteristics parameter related to ideal op amp. These property cannot be realized in a practice. However, the use of ideal op amp model specifies the mathematics involved in a op amp circuits. Practically, op amp can be made to approximate some of these characteristics. That means these are the ideal ideal characteristics of op amp is called for these characteristics, but we cannot use that ideal characteristics as a practically designing, and some characteristics of op amp are different. Equivalent circuit of an op amp. This is the equivalent circuit of an op amp. This figure shows an equivalent circuit of an op amp. Op amp is a voltage controlled voltage source main VOC VD. That means AOC VD. AOC means what? Gain of closed open loop, and VD means what? A voltage difference. Thevenin's voltage source of the RO is the Thevenin's equivalence and equivalent. Resistance looking back into the output terminal. The equivalent circuit is useful in analyzing the basic operating principle of an op amp. From the circuit, the voltages VO is equal to gain, open loop gain into voltage difference. That is the open loop gain into voltage difference. How we are going to calculate that voltage difference? Voltage difference is calculated by non-inverting terminal input voltage minus inverting terminal input voltage. Here V1 is a non-inverting terminal input voltage and V2 is inverting terminal input voltage. That is the op amp amplifies the difference between the two inputs. Open loop operation of that op amp. For that open loop operation of the op amp, here why we are calling that op amp as a open loop? Because that op amp does not having any kind of a feedback. Just see here I don't connected any kind of a feedback from negative terminal as well as feedback from positive terminal. So what it observes that it does not having any kind of a closed loop. For that purpose, that circuit diagram is called as a open loop. For that negative terminal, V2 input is given, and for that positive terminal, here they have given positive input, that is a V1. That means non-inverting terminal containing input V1 and inverting terminal containing input V2, as I have told earlier. The simplest way to use an op amp is in the open loop mode as shown in the figure. Since the gain is infinite, the output voltage V0 is either at its positive saturation or a negative saturation. That is two conditions here came into picture. That is sometimes V1 is a greater than V2 and sometimes V2 is a greater than V1 respectively. The output assumes one of the two possible output states and the amplifier acts as a switch only. Then at that case, what are these ideal characteristics of op amp again came into picture. Just for revision purpose I have taken here. Just see, look at that parameters. That is the open loop voltage gain, that is the infinity. Input impedance, that is the infinity. Output impedance is a 0. Bandwidth is infinity. Zero offset voltage, it is 0. At the condition, that is the input related to inverting as well as non-inverting terminal is having 0 value. It can be seen that first, a ideal op amp draws no current at both the input terminals. That is, I1 is equal to I2 is equal to 0 because of that infinite input impedance. What it shows that input impedance is infinite. For that purpose, that I1, I2 for op amp that is a input terminal 1 and 2. That is a inverting and a non-inverting is having 0 input current. Any signal sources can be drive it, and there is a no loading on the proceeding driver stage. Second, since the gain is infinity, the voltage between inverting and non-inverting terminal, that is a difference input voltage, that is a VD is equal to V2 minus V1 is essentially 0 for finite output voltage V0. The output voltage V0 is independent of the current drawn from the output as a R0 is equal to 0. The output thus can be drive an infinite number of other devices. Then gain formula for calculating of inverting amplifier. Then gain plays very important role for the calculation of that inverting amplifier. How we are going to calculating that gain related to inverting op amp as well as non-inverting op amp? Just see, this is the most widely used of all the op amp circuits. The circuit is shown in the figure. The output voltage V0 is fed back to inverting input terminal through the RF minus R1 network, where the RF is the feedback resistor. Input signal Vi is applied to the inverting input terminal through R1 and non-inverting input terminal of the op amp is grounded. Just see here, input is given to inverting terminal of the op amp Vin and another terminal is grounded. This is a RF feedback connected in between output and input. This is a negative feedback related to this. Then gain calculation. Then calculation for that, again continuation with this. Assume an ideal op amp Vd, that means voltage difference in between V1 and V2 is equal to 0. Then node A, this is a node, this point is called V as a node A, is at a ground potential and the current I1 through this R1, that means this Rin is a considered as a R1 and current flowing through this is a I1. Then R1 is a calculated, current flowing through this R1 is a calculated by the formula I1 is equal to VR divided by R1 by using the simple formula, that is I is equal to V divided by R. Also, since an op amp drawn no current, all the current flow through R1 must be flow through this RF. That means whenever the current is flowing through the R1, that is much current is only flowing through that RF. For that purpose, what is the RF current or across that RF what current is available? Just see, V0 is equal to minus I1 RF is equal to minus Vi RF divided by R1. Hence the gain of the inverting terminal, also referred as a closed loop gain, is ACL. That means gain of closed loop is equal to V0 divided by Vi. That means gain is a calculated in general formula for the gain is a output quantity divided by input quantity. Here we are dealing with voltage. For that purpose, here we are going to considering that is the output voltage divided by input voltage. Then what is the output voltage? Output voltage is related to only that feedback resistance. For that purpose, here we have considered that is the RF. And why here that minus terminology came into picture? Because this feedback is related to negative terminal of the op amp, that is the inverting terminal of the op amp. For that purpose, that RF came into picture here as a negative RF divided by R1, and this is the gain formula related to inverting terminal of the op amp. Then alternative, the node equation at A is calculated by the formula, again voltage divider load, Va minus Vi divided by R1 plus Va minus V0 divided by RF is equal to 0. And by calculating or summarizing that whole the equation, we get again same quantity, that is a gain is equal to minus RF by R1. Just see here. Then the negative signs indicate that the phase shift of 180 degree between Vi and V0. Why here we get as a phase shift output? Because this gain is related to inverting terminal of the op amp. And what is the inverting word? Says us that inverting means totally 180 degree phase shift. Then gain formula for the non-inverting amplifier. Similar into the inverting amplifier, only the change is in non-inverting amplifier. Because of that positive and negative terminologies input, what are the changes came into picture? Just see here. If a signal is applied to non-inverting input terminal and feedback is given as shown in the figure, the circuit amplifies the output inverting the input signal. Such as a circuit is called as a non-inverting amplifier. It may also be noted that it is also a negative feedback system, as the output is being fed back to the inverting input terminal as shown in here. Here input is given to positive terminal of the op amp. For that purpose, this type of a op amp is called as a non-inverting amplifier. Then how that gain is calculated, just show in here. Just see, as the differential voltage Vd at the input terminal of the op amp, that means Vd, that is the differential input related to that V1 and V2, that means inverting terminal and non-inverting terminal difference is a 0. Then gain is a totally related to input terminology and output terminology. Just see here Vi, that is the input voltage, is nothing but V0 R1 divided by R1 plus Rf. As no current flow through this op amp, no any kind of a supply is given to negative terminal of the op amp. For that purpose, no any current is flowing through this op amp. For that purpose, the ACL, that means current law, Kirchhoff's current law, what that Kirchhoff's current law says is that V0 divided by Vi is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1. This is only related to that Kirchhoff voltage law also. The gain can be adjusted to unity or more by a proper selection of the resistor Rf and R1. Electrical characteristics of op amp. There are some electrical characteristics of also op amp are involved. That is a various electrical characteristics of op amp. First is a input offset voltage. Input offset voltage is nothing but it is the voltage that must be applied between the input terminal of an op amp to nullify the output. That means to nullify the effect of the output, whatever the input voltage is supplied to two terminal of op amp, that voltage is nothing but input offset voltage. Since this voltage could be positive or negative, its absolute value is listed on the data sheet. For 741C, the maximum value is a 6 millivolt. That means for we are going to use always that is a mu A741 IC. For that purpose, that IC input offset voltage is a standard input output voltage. Standard input offset voltage related to that IC is a 7 millivolt. Then next electrical characteristics is a input offset current. That input offset current is nothing but what is the definition of that is the algebraic difference between the current into the negative input and positive input is referred as the input offset current. It is a 200 nanoampere maximum for 741 IC. 741C IC, what is that input offset current? Input offset current is a very small, that is a 200 nanoampere. Then next electrical characteristics is input bias current. Input bias current is abbreviated as also IB. I capital and for the suffix B is a letter mentioned. What it says, the average of the currents entering into the negative input and positive input terminal of an op amp is called as an input bias current. Its value is 500 nanoampere for 741C IC. That means it is also very small. But in comparison with that input bias current and input offset current, input bias current is a little bit greater in comparison with input offset current. Then next electrical characteristics is input resistance. This is the differential input resistance as seen at the either of the input terminal with the other terminal connected to the ground. For that 741C, the input resistance is a 2 mega ohm. It is a too much greater. Then next is the electrical character of op amp is a continuation with this input capacitance. What is the input capacitance applied to that op amp? Just see, it is the equivalent capacitance that can be measured at either of the input terminal with the other terminal connected to the ground. A typical value of C1, that is the C1, while we are going to connecting that C1 with that op amp, what is that standard value related to that IC741? That is a 1.4 picofarad. Just see here. Then next electrical characteristics is offset voltage adjustment range. A special feature of that 741 family op amp is the provision of offset voltage null capability. For 741C, offset voltage adjustment range is either positive or negative 15 millivolt. Okay, and then next again continuation with this input voltage range. This is the common mode voltage that can be applied to both the input terminal with disturbing the performance of an op amp. For the 741C, the range of the input common mode voltage, that is a plus or minus 13 volt related to that input voltage range, and offset voltage range adjustment is a 15 millivolt. And common mode configuration is used only for testing purposes to determine the degree of matching between the inverting and non-inverting terminals. Then next, common mode rejection ratio, where very frequently and commonly we are using that term, that is a common mode rejection ratio. It is also called as a CMRR. CMRR is nothing but common mode rejection ratio. It is an abbreviation of that common mode rejection ratio. Just see what it says. the relative sensitivity of an op-amp to a difference signals as compared to a common mode signal is called as a common mode rejection ratio, and it gives figure of merit, that is a rho for the differential amplifier, so that common mode rejection ratio is given by rho is equal to A, that is the gain of differential mode divided by gain of common mode. That means common mode rejection ratio, it is a ratio of gain of differential mode divided by gain of common mode, and is usually expressed in terms of dB. That means like gain, it is a totally related to gain terminology. That means common mode rejection ratio is a parameter of gain terminology ratio. For that purpose, we are going to always calling that gain common mode rejection ratio in terms of dB. And how that conversion of a dB take place? That dB conversion is take place by using 20 log to the base 10 or 10 log to the base 10. For 741C, common mode rejection ratio is typically 90 dB. That is the standard value related to 741C. Common mode rejection ratio is a 90 dB. CMRR is usually measured under the test condition that the input source resistance, that is the RS, should be less than or equal to 10 kilo ohm. The higher the value of CMRR, better is the matching between the two input terminals and smaller the output common mode voltage. Then again continuation with that electrical characteristics. Next characteristics is related to supply voltage rejection ratio, that is the SVRR. Then change in an op-amp input offset voltage due to variation in supply voltage is called as a supply volt rejection ratio. Some manufacturers uses terms like power supply rejection ratio. That means the meaning of power supply rejection ratio and supply voltage rejection ratio. That means SVRR and PSRR are same. Then power supply sensitivity. These terms are expressed in microvolts per volt or in a decibels. For 741C, supply voltage rejection ratio is represented in terms of microvolt, that is a 150 microvolt per volt. Obviously, lower the value of signal voltage rejection ratio, better the op-amp. That means always while better performance, whenever we are requiring that better performance of op-amp, that value of supply voltage rejection ratio must be very low. Then next electrical characteristics of op-amp, again continuation with this, is a large signal voltage gain. What it says us, an op-amp amplifies the difference voltage between the two input terminal, and its voltage gain is defined as voltage gain is equal to output voltage divided by differential input voltage, that is a 6. Since the amplitude of an output signal is much larger than the input signal, the voltage gain is commonly referred as large signal voltage gain. For 741C, typically the value is like this. Under the test condition, RL is very greater than or equal to 2 kilo ohm and V0 is equal to plus or minus 10 volt. Then output voltage swing. What is the output voltage swing? Is nothing but the output voltage swing indicates that the value of positive and negative saturation voltages of an op-amp and never exceed the supply voltage. There is a positive voltage supply as well as negative voltage supply for 741C. The output voltage swing is guaranteed to be between plus 13 volt to minus 13 volt. For RL is greater than or equal to 2 kilo ohm. Output resistance. Output resistance R0 is the resistance measured between the output terminal of the op-amp and the ground. It is 75 ohm for 741C op-amp. That is a standard output resistance for that 741C is a 75 ohm. Then next is a output short circuit current. This is the current that may flow in an op-amp gets shorted accidentally and is generally high. The op-amp must be provided with a short circuit protection. The short circuit current ISC for 741C is 25 milliampere. This means that the built-in short circuit protection is guaranteed to withstand a 25 milliampere of the current. Then next is the supply current. Supply current is the current drawn by the op-amp from the power supply. It is a 2.8 milliampere for 741C. Just see one thing, that is I am always telling you related to that 741C because we are always using that 741 IC for the op-amp performance and op-amp characteristics in our study related to analog circuit subject. For that purpose, here we are always dealing with only 741C, by keeping in mind that terminology, we know all the things related to 741C. For that purpose, what are the ideal and what are the standard value related to all electrical characteristics, just I am saying here. Then next parameter is power consumption. This gives an amount of a power, that is a Vi is equal to 0, that must be consumed by the op-amp so as to operate properly. It is 85 milliwatt for 741C. Then next is a transient response. The rise time and overshoot are the two characteristics of the transient response of any circuit. These parameters are of important whenever selecting an op-amp for AC application. For 741C, rise time is 0.3 microsecond and overshoot time is of a 5% of that rise time. Then next parameter is a slew rate. This is another parameter of importance whenever selecting an op-amp for a higher frequency application. Op-amp 741C has a low slew rate, that is a 0.5 volt per microsecond, and therefore cannot be used for a high frequency application. Then these parameters are related to, we seen all of the parameters related to that AC, but now we are going to see related to AC and DC performance characteristics of an op-amp in detail. These are the DC characteristics of an op-amp. An ideal op-amp draws no current from the source and its response is also independent of a temperature. However, a real op-amp does not work this way. That means op-amp characteristics and op-amp output performance is totally independent of the temperature. Then the current is taken from the source into the op-amp inputs. Also, the input respond differently to current and voltage due to mismatch in transistors. A real op-amp also shifts its operation with temperature. These non-ideal DC characteristics that add error components to the DC output voltages are. What are these error components? Just see. Input bias current, then next is the input offset current, then third one is the input offset voltage, and fourth one is a thermal draft. Just all these parameters we seen already. Then what is this? Just see here in detail related to these four parameters. That is, the first one parameter is a input bias current. It is defined as the average value of bias current entering into the input terminal of an op-amp during the input bias current. An op-amp input is a differential amplifier which may be made of BJT, bipolar junction transistor, or FET, that means field effect transistor. In either case, the input transistor must be biased into their linear region by supplying current into the basis by the external circuit. In an ideal op-amp, we assume that no current is drawn from the input terminal. However, practically the input terminal do connect a small value of DC current to bias the input transistors. Next, again continuation with this, the base current entering into inverting and non-inverting terminal are shown as a IB. IB is related to bias current, that is the negative bias current is related to inverting terminal of the op-amp, and positive bias current is related to non-inverting terminal of the op-amp respectively. Even though both the transistors are identical, that is a IB minus and IB plus are actually equal to due to internal imbalance between the two inputs, that is a IB is equal to IB plus IB minus divided by 2. For keeping maintenance related to average current distribution for both the terminal, we are taking average of these two terminals, where IB plus is a bias current at a non-inverting terminal and IB minus, that is a inverting terminal, just I have told. Input bias current compensation, that is IB for BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Input, what is that input bias current value is? That input bias current value for that bipolar junction transistor is 500 milliampere, just I have shown here. Then input bias current for that FET, that is a field effect transistor, is having 50 pico. Just see here, By introducing compensation resistor at the non-inverting input terminal, we can able to reduce the input bias current. R common combinational is equal to R1 divided by RF. That is R1 divided by RF is equal to R1 into RF divided by R1 plus RF. Then input offset current. This is the second terminology. There is a bias current compensation will work efficiently if both the biases current, that is a IB positive and IB negative, are equal. The input transistor can be made initially. Hence, there will be a difference in the bias current. This difference is called as a input offset current. That is a IOS. IOS is anything but input offset current, and it can be written as a IOS is equal to the input bias current difference for non-inverting terminal minus input bias current for inverting terminal. The absolute value sign indicates that there is no way to predict which of these bias currents will be larger. Input offset current for BJT is 200 NA and input offset current for the FET is a 10 PA. The effect of IOS, that is a input offset current, can be minimized by having the feedback resistor value to be small. Then third is a input offset voltage. In spite of the use of above compensation techniques, it is found that the output voltage may still not be zero or zero input voltage. This is due to unavoidable imbalance inside the op-amp, and one may have to apply a small voltage at the input terminal to make output voltage zero. This voltage is called as input offset voltage, that is a VIOS. This is the voltage required to be applied at the input for making the output voltage to be 0 volt. The voltage is V2 at a negative terminal is a V2 is equal to R1 V0 divided by R1 plus RF, or V0 is equal to R1 plus RF into V2 divided by R1. By simplifying this equation, just we get that is a 1 plus RF divided by R1 into V2. Since VOS, that is a output voltage, is equal to, it is the combination of input voltage minus V2, and VI is equal to 0. For that purpose, what that value comes here, that is a negative V2, but modulus sign is a mod sign is a used here. What that mod sign indicates, under that mod any value that is a having positive or negative, simplification of that mod always came into picture is having only positive value. For that purpose here mod is used. Then next and last parameter related to this is a thermal draft. The thermal draft, what it says, that thermal draft is a bias current, offset current and offset voltage changes with the temperature. That means the op-amp is not related to temperature, but characteristics of op-amps are related to the temperature. What are these characteristics are related to the temperature is our bias current, offset current and offset voltage. These parameters are changes with temperature. For that purpose, that thermal draft terminology here came into picture. A circuit carefully mold at a temperature of a 25 degree Celsius may not be remain so when the temperature rises to a 35 degree Celsius. This is called as a draft. Often offset current draft is expressed in this terminology, and offset voltage draft is expressed in this way. These indicates that the change in the offset for each degree Celsius changes in a temperature. There are a very few circuits techniques that can be used to minimize the effect of the draft. Carefully printed that the circuit board layout must be equal to be used to keep op-amps away from the source of the heat. First, air cooling may be used to stabilize the ambient temperature. Then next is the AC characteristics. For small signal sinusoidal applications, the AC characteristics are frequency response and slew rate. Frequency response is having an ideal op-amp has an infinite bandwidth, that is a open loop gain is having 90 dB, just I have told earlier with the DC signal, and this gain should be remain the same through the audio and radio frequencies. That means there is no any kind of a change related to audio as well as radio frequency. The frequency response is the same for both the types, but the practical op-amp gain decreases at a high frequency. This is due to capacitive component in the equivalent circuit of the op-amp. Due to ROC, the gain decreases by 20 dB per decay, and the frequency is said to be a break or corner frequency and is given by f1 is equal to 1 divided by 2 into 3.14. This is nothing but the value of pi into ROC. Then next is a slew rate. Slew rate is defined as the maximum rate of change of output voltage caused by the step input voltage and is usually specified in voltage per microsecond. For example, again 1 volt per microsecond slew rate means that the output rises or falls by 1 volt in a 1 microsecond. The rate of change of output voltage due to the step input voltage and is usually specified as voltage per microsecond. For example, 1 volt per microsecond slew rate denotes the output rises or falls by 1 volt in a 1 microsecond. The rate at which the voltage across the capacitor DC per decreases voltages C by dt is given by dVc by dt is equal to I by C. Slew rate is equal to SR. Differentiation with respect to voltages, max is equal to Imax divided by C. For IC 741, Imax is equal to 50 microamperes, C is equal to 30 picofarad. Slew rate is equal to 0.5 volt per microsecond. Okay, thank you.